these examples I just released on Instagram. You check my current Instagram right now. I just posted one minute ago. So I wanted to share, like, this is the images that I just shared. And these images, you see the quality of the elements and the texture and the reflections. So all these were achieved using the agentic mode 2.0 precise. So again, the geometry itself, is very precise. You can double click on the image in a canvas, and you're gonna find always the source. So this is the source of the image. You can see the perforations, the elements that we used, and the transition that we get when we get the image like that. Note that whenever you generate something in the freeform, you're gonna find this action bar below. So this action bar allows you to create quick drawings, like this one here, the generate drawings. Then you can create, for instance, spatial structure. That is an interesting drawing because we'll remove the texture and you will get just pure geometry. The other we can go as well for is to create a physical model. So it will create a physical model from the information that it gets. It analyzes the building, and then it will decide which material and which point of view would be good for that picture. It will create a physical model of the building. Okay, so those generations can be launched. And remember that we have a high capacity allowance for pro users to generate simultaneously. And actually, let me just show you the model here. I have the model that I just made. It's a clay model with the picture, the figures, everything. So I'm just trimming this part of the building. I just trimmed that part of the building. And then when I'm gonna apply the style here. So for style transfer, we can go for maybe the scales that we had here. So I'm going to transfer that texture to the facade. So I'm going to select areas that I want to, and I'm gonna trim to get the style. For instance, something like this. I'm gonna get it. Yeah. So for now, I'm gonna create this as a style. I'm gonna use get nodes. And then when you click on the image, you can use get nodes. And get nodes will turn the image into a node. So I'm gonna apply this to the facade. I'm gonna say use this aluminum facade tile for the entire building. Okay, so now we are applying this style to the building. You want to make sure you can apply in different points. You don't need, if you only apply in one, it's also fine because you are applying into the entire building. You can put right in the middle. And then remember that you want to add to more points that need to maintain shift press. And then you can drag it. You can create other point to apply the same thing. If you want to also have a reference for the interior, say, well, I like the one we made here, right? This kind of like warmer interior. So I'm gonna go for this glass. So in this case, I'm gonna take this as my reference for the glass. So I'm gonna go for this image. I'm gonna trim it. Then I'm gonna move it to our area here where we are working now, the image without texture. And then I'm gonna turn into a node. Another thing you can do is to create the node first. Okay, I create the node here for the entrance. And then it's like use this style for the glass. And now I'm gonna drag the image, sorry. I'm gonna drag the image. You can press V to move to the selection and then just drag the image just on top of the node. And you're gonna get the image as a style or as a node, in this case as a style. You can apply here, you can apply here and there, and maybe there too, if you want to. So when you're working with nodes, when you're working with this, starting to get a bit more complex in terms of the generation, you are gonna choose between the precise mode with agentic capability, or you can go for the context mode with maybe base 1K or 2K. Okay, both are actually good. The agentic one, I would say, gives more like sharper features, but the context mode is also very good. I'm gonna generate here. Just the prompt is gonna be very simple. Prompt view of a building made of aluminum, smooth geometry, and reflections. So I'm gonna generate this one now. Remember, if you want to generate exactly this area, you're gonna click on this icon below. This is like set the region we render to fit in the image that we have. And now we are actually setting the boundaries for that exact image. Now we can generate with context. In this case, you will see that the context mode will generate in orange color, and then you will see the context text as well in the generation. Here you can see in the meantime the generations that we got with the tiles and the elements that we put here. You can see the tiling, you can see the aluminum, the reflections, the elements. So when you have this geometry as a base, it's easier for the model to apply textures very fast, and somehow the panels and everything can adjust very well to the geometry, because we remove the geometry first, right? So that's why. When you add logos here, you have this logo in the image. So you can there's one way that you could do is basically you can put the logo here, I mean directly on the building. I mean, no need to actually put it like and then you can ask to blend the logo directly. All right, that's one way that you can do. But the other way is like you can probably put the logo here. You can put the logo as a note, and then you're gonna put the logo here. I'm going to delete this one. And if you want to, maybe you wanna add maybe a window, a very simple, a very simple like area, or like where the logo should be placed, something like this. And then I say place here, okay? And then you wanna use another window. Maybe what I could do is like to eventually, I mean, you can use a rectangle here just to try to do fluid as well. So I'm gonna use maybe something like that. Then probably I'm gonna just go for a geometry. I'm gonna just use the option which is here, which is smooth. I can create a smoother geometry like that, and then we can modify the geometry with the control points. You can apply any kind of transformation. I'm doing this one like this. I'm gonna put this, let's say, as a potential window, and I make it like, maybe a color that is understandable. And then I'm gonna put here a note. Let's say add a deep opening here. Okay, so I'm gonna put these two requests, and then I'm gonna generate again. So again, the one thing I can do directly is I select the entire image and render it again. So you can do that, render the entire image, and then I'm going to generate that, apply the changes, and keep the rest untouched. And select here, I always recommend to go with context mode, okay? Context mode, that will be the one that we should choose to do this kind of operations. Remember, context mode will keep exactly the geometry that we have as a base. So we can make the changes and it will respect everything else. Generate the context, go there. In the meantime, the other thing that we could do is I'm gonna select everything, shift, and I'm gonna drag it to a different point here. So I have the nodes and everything again. And then what I'm gonna do here is to I'm gonna focus on this part in particular. So I'm going to generate this part. Okay, so, or maybe something a bit like larger like this, fine, and generate. And also here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna generate this part too. Generate. So now I have 3 ongoing generations. The one here at the bottom is the one that we're doing with the entire image and the 2 requests that we had. And then on top, we're gonna have the one part and another part trying to look at more focus editing of the elements that we want. So here you can see Rogers is the university's logo is here, and you can see it's adjusted to the curvature of the panels. On the other side here, it added a deep opening, and the deep opening happened to be quite good. Okay, so in this case, what you can see is that we got this. And because we only got the transformation only selecting that area, it didn't have enough context to understand the rest of the openings. And that is why it created something based on the polygonal geometry that it found. However, here the logo is actually perfectly applied, so because the context was not needed. So you can see here that there are ways to work with this. You can do local transformations, as we did here, but also you can do full transformations. And you can see here, this is a different layer. You can right-click, you can add like opacity to it. You can reduce the opacity, so you can see, where the logo is. It's try to match the position, and kind of like the proportion was not the same. That's why it corrected it. And then you can see, how the two images are coming together, right? So if I remove the sketch before, now I have one image here. All right, this is one here and the one below. If you want to blend them, you can basically select both. All right, it's a new feature that we have incorporated as well here. I mean, now we have one image without the logo and one image with the logo. So I can select both images, right click, and then I can use you can use save combined. So save combined will help you combine the images that you have in the same area, and you can select the resolution that you want, something like could be low resolution or high resolution, and you're gonna save a PNG.
Yep. Yes, so Save Combine is very useful when you have some you're really working on a very specific area, and then now you're happy with the area, then you can finally blend them together.
And give you a very good level of resolution here as well. So you add elements of different, let's say for instance, here you have more resolution that in the other image, it will increase the resolution for the entire image. So it's preserving all pixels that we're using, right? So that's also that's why we developed this feature, because we see users are combining like Photoshop based like layers kind of thing, or rendering parts of the image, and that is kind of very helpful.
So Jerry has a question. Can the modulation of the facade joints be modified?
Yeah.
Using the texture feature you just shown earlier? For instance, the aluminum joints can be easily manipulated to be more dense if needed.
Once the image is a good question. Once the image is generated, I would say it's more difficult to change the scale. Typically, what would be easier is to remove them. I mean, ask to remove all the joints and then to apply a new kind of layer of joints. So I would do two actions. I wouldn't just go for that one shot thing. Let's do a copy here. You should be able to do a lasso of, let's say, this kind of opening here. I'm just gonna trim it. So then I'm gonna put it back to where it was. So maybe now what I have here is another element of this, and then you can put it somewhere here, and then you can modify or transform it, and then you can work with the opacity if you want to, so you can make it less opaque. So it works quite well when it comes to like this kind of layers, as in Rhino. So you can add these elements here. So if you want later to fuse this, you can go here and just say fuse this image, fix this edge, and then generate this one here.
I thought you were gonna show the layers. Wait,
Yeah,
we have that, right?
Yeah.
For the next
Okay,
for the next office hours, we will also show the iterative editor. We think that is quite a powerful editor.
Yeah.
With layers on top of that as well.
And it's growing a lot as well.
Yeah.
So in this case, one question that may happen as well to some of people that we have here, you want to change the size of something. You can actually reduce the size by trimming it. You can replace it, you can put it anywhere, and then you're gonna fill the empty space with facade with same material. Blend. You can specify you want to blend this part here, and then you can generate the image again. Apply the changes. So that also is a way to edit. Start modifying locally. You want to change the size of something. You can move something. You can do it in freeform, like trim, move. If you leave the space, it's okay. Just tell our model to fill the spaces right in between, and that will it will do actually a quite good job.